everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I decided I'm going to do a video on old school Dragon models, planes. So back when I first really discovered collecting model airplanes, I wasn't into it until like years down the road from even there. But but some of these are really old. So Dragon models, some of you, if you've been around for a while, you'll know what Dragon models are. They are it was an old Hong Kong based brand that and these aren't even all my Dragon models. I have a C5 and a Dragonair A320 as well, but I decided I was just gonna get these. So Dragon models, they were a really cool brand, and I should have probably gotten one of the stands. Anyway, I do have some stands. I don't know. Anyway, so Dragon Models was pretty much, they were this Hong Kong based brand, and they made the models out of, the fuselage was die-cast metal, but the wings, sometimes the tail, like the tail on the 747, and I don't know about the Singapore, but I know the wings are plastic. So they made the tail and wings plastic, landing gears plastic, and I don't know how much they costed during that time, but I know now you can get Dragon Models planes for pretty cheap. Like I got this, so typically a Phoenix Models version of this before, I think JC Wings might have re-released it, an interactive version, I think they did, but Phoenix had this out, and it was about, they were running for $80 to $120 to $200. I think I paid between 25 to 30 to 45 on that one. And the reason is because it's half plastic, it's old, and it's Dragon Models. So Dragon Models, they had a really cool line, and I want to get more of them. They actually made 1 to 400 scale rockets, and I want some. I do want some rockets. They're like $5 on Waffle Collectibles right now, so I might have to go buy one. But Korean Air, pretty much. So the Korean Air, that's a good one. That's actually a really good model. The Singapore, again, so they would release these A380s. They had a ton of them, and the mold's not the best. I prefer the Gemini, or even my Phoenix models A380 over there, to the mold. But let's be honest, it was $25. You can get, I mean, if you're, guys, sorry about that, my phone ran out of storage, so I have to add to settle that. But anyway, if you don't mind your A380 kind of looking like that, Dragon Models are actually pretty good. Now these are the old, this was an old one, so this was, I think, released before before Singapore Airlines actually got their A380s. They were just on order. They did this a lot. They did a FedEx version as well. They did, I know they'd had Qantas, Emirates, I think Korean was another one they did, Malaysia. I don't know about Thai. I don't think they did Thai. But anyway, so this is the old titles one. So they enlarged the titles when they got this, and this one actually doesn't have a registration. I think it's the only plane that I have that doesn't have a registration, I think. Something like that. So it's definitely unique when it comes to that. But it's a really good model, actually. I really like this plane. So you got their A380s. They also made C5s. I have one. I'll show you all that in a minute. I'll show you all both of my other Dragon Models planes. But then there's this A330. Now this is this is actually a really good looking A330. So this one is of China Eastern. I've actually paid $5 for this model. I think it was between 5 to 10, between 5 and 10. I think it was 10. but still, it's one of the cheapest models that I have, and it's definitely made cheap, and you can tell. The fuselage is again die-cast metal. Wings are plastic. Tail is plastic. Yeah, tail's plastic. No relevancy to my collection whatsoever, because if I needed an appropriate China Eastern plane, it would be a 777 or an A350. But if I ever decide to do an LAX update, I could definitely throw this one in, because they actually fly them. Or I think they either fly 330s or 300s or 200s. Something like that. It's LAX, but I have seen them at LAX, like in spotting videos and whatnot. So it's not completely wild. So yeah, I'm really glad that I got this one. So those are my the four main ones. Let me come over here real quick. Let's see, that's my Dragon Model C5. That is one of the OG planes in my collection, and then this is my Dragonair A320 that I paid $2.50 for. Not kidding. Well, I mean, shipping was more. I paid more for shipping than I did for the model. But yeah, that's my Dragonair plane anyway. Oh, and Darren postage stamp planes have a very similar build quality to these Dragon Models planes, and there's nothing wrong with it. If you're collecting on a budget, honestly, Dragon Models is your friend. If you can find an old Dragon Models release, if you need something like an A380, Waffle Collectibles, you can get these when they come into collection sale. I bought this in a collection sale for $25 and paid almost as much as I paid for the model for shipping. So the only downside is the plastic parts can break off. This is what happened with this B1. I don't know if you can see, but that's where it got glued together years ago. Yeah, and the other cool thing is the landing gear is detachable, just like Aviation 400 over here. I have an Aviation 400 plane. The landing gear is detachable, but it's magnetic. The landing gear is detachable on these. And some of these actually came with the gear detached. Now I don't think it's detachable on this A380, but some of these, yeah, like this has a whole pad that comes out. And on this one, I actually had to glue the front landing gear in. But the landing gear is detachable, and you can do in-flight or on-ground scenarios with your planes, whatever you want to do. And Dragon Models also, and I know this sounds like an ad, but I just thought of this, have had some of the most insane releases ever in 400 scale. They have released, they've released an E8 Joint Star, a couple of E3 Sentries, the earliest E4Bs. So they did that one, but that's a Gemini Jets version. But they did do E4s, but that's my Gemini version. They also did Air Force Ones. Again, that's a Gemini version as well. They did SR-71s, believe it or not. They did rockets. They did the 747 SCA with the space shuttle. That's awesome. And I'm trying to think. They did a bunch of C-17s, a bunch of C-130s, some C-5s. Let me think. What else did they do? Yeah, E3s. Did they do VC-10s? I'm trying to remember. I don't know if they did VC-10s or not, like the Vickers ones. They did Dreamlifters. They did Airbus Belugas. And they did even a. Trying to think. What else? I know they did. I'm pretty sure the rockets. So they actually have a whole line of like space rockets that they do, and I want to get some actually. But that's Dragon Models for you. Cheap models, slightly cheap build quality, but good for display. I mean, you can kind of tell they look a little plasticky. They look a little cheap, especially the landing gear. But I love them. For a guy who's on a budget a little bit. Dragon models are, I don't have a problem with picking up a Dragon models plane. And to show y'all, let me bring y'all right over here real quick. Hold on. So, and yes, I have a Millennium Falcon. Let me try to find a Dragon models box. Oh, here's the A380 box. So this is what they look like. If any of you have Dragon models planes, it's kind of what they look like. I know some people who collect in the modern era do, but most people really like quality, and that's okay. But some people just are on a budget, like me. There's a C5 down there. I don't even know where everything else is. My A330 didn't even come with the it didn't even like have a box. It just came in the cradle. But yeah, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.